One of the greatest truths about human achievement is that success rarely comes to those who wait for external validation before believing in themselves. Confidence is not the reward of success. It is the requirement for success. Most people mistakenly think they must first accomplish something significant before they earn the right to walk, talk, and think like winners. But in reality, those who break barriers in life are the ones who adopt the mindset of victory before they taste victory. When you approach life with hesitation, doubt, or insecurity, you unconsciously send signals to others and to yourself that you are not ready for opportunities. On the other hand, when you think and act with confidence even before results show up, you project strength, capability, and readiness. People naturally trust, follow, and invest in those who carry themselves with certainty. Consider the stories of great leaders, entrepreneurs, and creators. Many of them started with nothing but an idea and a bold belief in themselves. They faced skepticism, criticism, and even ridicule. If they had waited for evidence of success before acting confidently, they would have abandoned their journey at the very beginning. Their belief created momentum, and that momentum attracted resources, people, and opportunities. Confidence is like a magnet. When you exude it, doors open. You are more likely to speak up in meetings, take risks others shy away from, and seize chances that others overlook. Even failure becomes less damaging because you interpret it not as proof of weakness, but as part of the process toward mastery. The secret lies in shifting from "I will believe it when I see it" to "I will see it because I believe it." Thinking confidently means affirming your worth daily, rehearsing success in your mind, and refusing to let doubt define your choices. Acting confidently means standing tall, speaking with clarity, making decisions with conviction, and moving forward with energy instead of hesitation. If you want to transform your life, start today by practicing confidence in small ways. Walk with purpose, maintain eye contact, speak with assurance even if your voice shakes, make choices with boldness as if success were inevitable. Over time, your confident actions will reshape your inner identity, and the results you once thought were distant will begin to manifest. There is a profound psychological principle that says you become what you consistently embody. If you carry yourself as though you have already achieved greatness, your thoughts, habits, and actions will begin to align with that identity. This doesn't mean pretending to be something you're not. It means living in alignment with the version of yourself you are becoming. When you act as if achievement is already yours, you cultivate a state of expectancy. Instead of waiting for permission from the world, you give yourself permission to step into a higher standard of living. You adopt the posture, discipline, and mindset of someone who already holds success in their hands. Think about how differently a champion walks onto the field compared to someone who doubts their abilities. The champion radiates calmness, authority, and assurance. Even before the game begins, their presence announces that they are ready to win. That aura is not arrogance. It is preparation meeting belief. And more often than not, it intimidates opponents and inspires allies. Carrying yourself as though you've already achieved doesn't mean flaunting or boasting. It means dressing with care because you respect yourself, speaking with clarity because you value your words, making decisions as if your time and energy are precious, building habits as though your future depends on today's actions, because it does. His principle creates alignment between your inner world and your outer reality. When you live as though you've already achieved, your subconscious mind begins to believe it. Life will always present two lenses through which you can see the world. One lens magnifies problems, the other magnifies possibilities. Which lens you choose determines whether you move forward with strength or stay stuck in fear. Most people become paralyzed by obstacles. They see what is missing, what could go wrong, or why something probably won't work. This mindset builds invisible walls that trap them inside hesitation. The truth, however, is that obstacles are never permanent barriers. They are signals pointing toward creativity, resilience, and growth. Winners train their minds to see the possibility hidden inside the problem. Instead of asking, "Why can't this be done?" they ask, How can this be done? The shift is subtle but powerful. The first question shuts the door on progress. The second opens it. Think about innovators throughout history. Every great invention, every breakthrough, every movement that transformed humanity was born not by denying the existence of challenges, but by choosing to focus on the possibility beyond them. Where others saw limits, visionaries saw opportunities. Where others complained, achievers created. Focusing on possibilities does not mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to let difficulties dictate your destiny. An obstacle is just a test of perspective. The mountain is not there to stop you. It is there to teach you how to climb. The most powerful way to shift your focus is by training your questions. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What if I succeed?" Instead of dwelling on "What will people think?" ask, "What impact will this create?" Instead of "What resources do I lack?" ask, "How can I maximize what I already have?" Every obstacle can be redefined as a stepping stone. The choice is yours. You can allow problems to shrink your vision, or you can allow possibilities to expand it. Winners always choose the second path. Discipline is the invisible bridge between intention and achievement. Dreams, goals, and ambitions are worthless without the structure of consistent action. You cannot wait until you feel successful to live with discipline. You must build discipline as if victory is already yours. Why? Because winners are not defined by talent alone. They are defined by habits. Success is not created in a single moment of inspiration, but in repeated acts of commitment when no one is watching. The champion trains when the stadium is empty. The author writes when there are no readers. The entrepreneur works when there is no applause. To develop discipline as if you've already won means living today according to the standards of the person you want to become tomorrow. If you want to be a leader, wake up earlier, plan your day, and communicate clearly. If you want to be financially free, budget, save, and invest with precision. If you want to be healthy, treat your body like it already belongs to an athlete. Discipline often feels heavy at the beginning because it requires sacrifice, comfort, leisure, and short-term pleasure. But once it becomes part of your identity, it feels lighter than regret. Regret weighs tons. Discipline weighs ounces. One demands daily effort, the other demands a lifetime of what if. Consider this. Every act of discipline is proof to yourself that you are in control. Every time you rise early, choose focus over distraction, or persist instead of quitting, you reinforce the belief that you are already living as a winner. Over time, discipline becomes effortless because it shifts from being something you do to being something you are. And here is the deeper truth. Discipline builds freedom. It is the paradox of achievement. By holding yourself accountable today, you earn the right to live without limits tomorrow. By sticking to the grind now, you break free from mediocrity later. When you see discipline not as punishment but as preparation, your perspective changes. Words are more than sounds. They carry weight, energy, and authority. The way you speak reveals not only how you think, but also how much you believe in yourself. People instinctively feel whether your words are born from confidence or insecurity. That is why winners discipline their tongue to speak with certainty, not doubt. When you communicate with doubt, you weaken your own influence. You may have brilliant ideas, powerful visions, or life-changing solutions, but if your words sound uncertain, if you keep saying maybe, I think, I'm not sure, you unconsciously tell others that your vision is fragile. And if you don't believe in yourself fully, why should anyone else? On the other hand, when you speak with certainty, you project conviction. Your words cut through noise and hesitation. People listen because they feel you are speaking from a place of clarity and power. Even if you don't have all the answers, the tone of your certainty creates trust. Think of leaders who move nations, entrepreneurs who attract investors, or teachers who inspire generations. Their secret is not just knowledge, it is the way they communicate. They speak with strength, with clarity, with absolute belief in their message. But here's the key. Speaking with certainty doesn't mean being arrogant. It doesn't mean forcing others to agree with you. It means communicating from a place of alignment. Your thoughts, words, and actions are consistent. You know who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going. That inner clarity shines through your speech. To build this habit, start small. Eliminate weak language from your daily conversations. Replace "I'll try" with "I will." Replace "I think it might work" with "This is the path I believe will work." Stand by your words. Be concise, clear, and direct. When you discipline yourself to speak with certainty, you shape not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. Each confident word you speak reinforces your belief in your own power. Over time, your voice becomes an instrument of influence, capable of moving hearts, building trust, and shaping reality. Human beings are mirrors. We reflect the people we spend the most time with. Your environment has a silent but powerful influence on your thoughts, habits, and destiny. That is why those who aspire to win must surround themselves with winners and adopt their mindset. If you spend your days among people who constantly complain, criticize, and doubt, you will unconsciously absorb their energy. You may start with ambition, but their negativity will slowly drain your fire. Their excuses will become your excuses. Their limitations will start sounding like your limitations. On the other hand, when you place yourself in the company of ambitious, driven, and disciplined individuals, their energy becomes fuel for your growth. Winners think differently. They don't dwell on why something cannot be done. They search for solutions. They don't envy success. They learn from it. They don't waste time on gossip. They invest it in growth. Simply being around such people forces you to raise your own standards. The truth is, no one wins alone. Every great achiever had mentors, allies, and networks that pushed them beyond their comfort zone. Your circle either pulls you up or drags you down. If you want to elevate your life, you must intentionally choose your circle. But surrounding yourself with winners is not only about proximity, it's about mindset. You can sit among successful people and still remain stagnant if you don't absorb their way of thinking. Adopt their habits of discipline, their resilience in failure, their optimism in challenges, their hunger to keep growing. Watch not only what they say, but how they live. Success has never been handed to the timid. The world rewards those who move with courage, who take bold actions when others hesitate, and who are willing to risk stepping into the unknown. Every great breakthrough in history was born not from caution, but from boldness. Hesitation is the silent killer of dreams. You think, you overthink, and you wait for the perfect moment, but perfection never comes. While you hesitate, opportunities pass by, doors close, and momentum is lost. Boldness, on the other hand, creates momentum. It sends a signal to life itself that you are ready for more. Bold action doesn't mean reckless action. It means moving forward decisively, even when the outcome is uncertain. It means refusing to let fear paralyze you. Fear will always whisper, "What if you fail? What if you look foolish? What if it doesn't work?" Boldness answers back, "What if I succeed? What if this changes everything? What if this is the step that defines my future?" The difference between winners and dreamers is simple. Dreamers wait, winners act. Dreamers imagine what they could do. Winners test it in reality. Dreamers hope for a better tomorrow. Winners create it today. Every time you take bold action, even if you stumble, you gain experience. You learn what works, you strengthen resilience, and you build momentum. Hesitant steps keep you in the same place. Bold steps, even imperfect ones, move you forward. Ask yourself, where in my life am I hesitating? What decision am I delaying out of fear? Then make a choice today. Commit fully, act boldly, and let the world adjust to your courage. You'll be surprised how often doors open the moment you knock with conviction. What you repeatedly picture in your mind shapes what you eventually experience in your life. Visualization is not daydreaming, it is mental rehearsal. Winners know that every great achievement is lived twice, first in the imagination, then in reality. When you visualize daily, you program your subconscious mind to align with your vision. Your brain cannot fully distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. This means that when you consistently see yourself succeeding, speaking with confidence, achieving your goals, or standing victorious, your mind begins to treat that future as familiar. And what feels familiar becomes easier to manifest. Visualization works because it builds belief. Doubt shrinks when the mind has already seen success. Athletes use this principle all the time. Before stepping onto the field, they see themselves winning the game, making the perfect shot, crossing the finish line. By the time they compete, their body and mind have already rehearsed victory. But visualization is not passive fantasy. It must be practiced with detail, emotion, and consistency. Don't just imagine the goal, imagine the process. See yourself waking up early, working with discipline, overcoming obstacles, and finally achieving the result. Feel the emotions, the pride, the gratitude, the joy of victory. The more real it feels inside, the faster it becomes real outside. Daily visualization also keeps your focus sharp. Life is full of distractions, but when your mind is anchored on a clear image of success, you resist detours. You act in alignment with your vision because your brain is constantly reminded of where you are going. Make visualization a ritual. Spend a few minutes every morning and night closing your eyes and experiencing your future success as if it were happening now. Speak it out loud, write it down, see it vividly. Over time, your actions will naturally align with the vision you've been feeding your mind. Remember, if you cannot see it in your mind, you will struggle to hold it in your hands. Winners live their victories twice. First mental, then physically. Emotions are powerful forces. They can be the fuel that drives you forward or the chains that hold you back. The difference lies in whether you control them or they control you. Winners understand that leadership of others and of oneself begins with mastery of emotions. Think about it. Life will always bring storms. Disappointments, rejections, failures, betrayals, these are inevitable. The average person reacts impulsively. Anger erupts, fear paralyzes, sadness drains energy. But those who rise above are the ones who pause, breathe, and take command of their emotional state. Controlling emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means directing them. Anger, for example, can be destructive if left unchecked, but when harnessed, it can become determination to prove yourself. Fear can cripple, but when reframed, it can become awareness and preparation. Even sadness, when understood, can sharpen empathy and deepen perspective. A true leader never allows temporary feelings to dictate permanent decisions. They remain calm in chaos, rational in crisis, and grounded when others panic. This calmness is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. People follow those who stay steady in the storm. How do you build this discipline? By practicing awareness. Every time emotions surge, step back and observe them instead of immediately reacting. Ask, is this emotion helping me or hurting me? Can I redirect it into something useful? Over time, you will notice a gap between stimulus and response, and in that gap lies your power. Controlling your emotions also builds trust. No one follows a leader who explodes at every challenge or crumbles at every setback, but people respect and rely on someone who maintains composure, makes wise choices, and transforms emotion into fuel for progress. The truth is, the world is not shaped by those who feel the most, but by those who channel what they feel into purposeful action. Control your emotions like a leader, and you will control not only yourself, but also the direction of your destiny. If there is one trait that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary, it is persistence. Talent can fade, resources can run out, opportunities can disappear, but persistence keeps you moving until you carve your own path. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every champion, every inventor, every leader who changed the world faced setbacks, rejections, and defeats. The difference is, they refused to treat failure as the end. They persisted as though failure was simply feedback, a temporary detour on the way to victory. Persistence is the ability to get up one more time than you fall. It is the courage to say, This didn't work, but I am not finished. I will adapt, I will learn, I will try again. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Many people quit too soon. They give up after the first rejection, the first obstacle, the first setback. They assume the struggle means the dream is impossible. But winners know the struggle is proof they are on the path. The resistance you feel is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are pushing against the old limits of your life. To persist as though failure is never final means you carry a long-term vision. You don't measure progress only by today's results, but by the consistency of your effort. Even small steps count, because each one brings you closer. Persistence also builds character. Every time you endure, you become stronger, more resilient, more unshakable. Life respects those who refuse to quit. It eventually bends in favor of those who keep knocking, keep striving, keep pushing, no matter how long it takes. Ask yourself, how badly do I want this? If your answer is strong, then no setback, no rejection, no failure can stop you. You will persist until the world surrenders to your determination. Success is not a distant event that arrives by chance. It is a state of mind cultivated long before the world recognizes it. To act like a winner before you win is to adopt a mindset that reshapes your identity, your habits, and your destiny. It is the deliberate decision to think, act, and carry yourself as if victory is already yours, even while you navigate challenges and uncertainty. The 10 principles we have explored are not just ideas. They are the roadmap for transforming your life from ordinary to extraordinary. First, thinking and acting with confidence sets the foundation for all achievement. Confidence is not a reward for past success. It is the requirement for future victory. When you believe in yourself before the world acknowledges your worth, you create an internal power that attracts opportunities, inspires trust, and fuels action. This confidence must be embodied daily through posture, speech, and choices. It is the invisible signal to life that you are ready to receive the rewards you seek. Carrying yourself as if achievement is already yours builds on this foundation. It is the deliberate act of living in alignment with your highest potential. When you move through life as though success is inevitable, your habits, decisions, and relationships reflect that inner certainty. You no longer wait for permission or validation. You step into the version of yourself that commands respect, influence, and accomplishment. Every choice becomes a declaration. I am ready, I am capable, and I am already on the path to victory. Focusing on possibilities rather than obstacles is the lens through which all challenges are transformed into opportunity. Life is never devoid of difficulties, but winners see in every obstacle the seeds of growth. Where others see barriers, they see stepping stones. Where others hesitate, they innovate. By training your mind to ask, how can this be done? Instead of, why can't this be done? You activate a creative force that transforms potential into reality. Discipline is the bridge between vision and achievement. Without it, even the most inspiring ideas remain dormant. Developing discipline as though you have already won means committing to consistent action, following through even when motivation fades, and holding yourself accountable to standards higher than what the world demands. Every act of discipline is proof to yourself that you are in control, and every step you take compounds into unstoppable momentum. Speaking with certainty amplifies your influence. Words carry the power to shape perception, inspire action, and open doors. When you speak with conviction, others naturally listen and follow. But true certainty comes not from arrogance, but from alignment. Your thoughts, intentions, and actions must reinforce the strength of your voice. By eliminating doubt from your speech, you reinforce belief in yourself and inspire belief in others. Surrounding yourself with winners and adopting their mindset magnifies your potential. Success is contagious. Energy is magnetic. By immersing yourself in the company of disciplined, ambitious, and purpose-driven individuals, you absorb their habits, perspectives, and standards. This environment challenges mediocrity, stretches your limits, and elevates your ambitions. Even if your current circle is not ideal, books, teachings, and mentors can fill the gap and provide guidance until you attract people who reflect your elevated state.